National Weather Service. Good morning, Landon.
Hey, good morning. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing
Long
all
time no see.
right. Kind of holding our breath for what are we going to be expecting this weekend, because I know we spoke with you earlier this week and we said we'd check back in with you Friday to see what was in store. So, do you have some
Yeah, we
good news?
were watching that storm system that's going to be sweeping across the North Pacific. Tis the season. We have these cold frontal systems sweep across the North Pacific from Japan towards the States. And then sometimes these frontal boundaries can come into the tropical region near us. And they're not so much a cold front anymore, but they become more of a wind boundary and they can generate large seas and surf across our region. That's what we're going to be seeing later this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately for us, the intensity of this boundary has weakened a little bit, much like the last one that we expected on Tuesday, Wednesday. So the expectations are less than what we were looking at on Monday, but that's how these things modify through the week, day by day, with the latest forecast models. So let me flip my screen around and I'll show you what we're looking at in the satellite right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not much out there this morning. And so it looks like the rain coverage expected with this boundary this weekend has decreased just a little bit. So that's the good news, but we're going to still see uptick in clouds and showers over the weekend, mainly through Saturday night through Sunday night. So Saturday's not so bad. Friday, not bad at all. But Saturday night through Sunday night, that's when we're going to see the most clouds and potential for showers. And really, it's not much to look at. So we're seeing a lot of grays and kind of the lighter white colors. That's the absence of deeper, heavy convection that we would see with the stronger storm system. So that's the good news for us. Looking at the radar this morning, definitely not much going on out there. We don't have that butterfly signal off the coast of Guam this morning. That means the winds are down. So that's also in our favor. We're kind of between boundaries this morning, so that's why the winds are light. If you went out to your car early this morning, you notice it's covered with dew. That's all the moisture.
Yeah.
If you're in the southern mountains, you might have even considered mountain dew for the morning. Who knows? But
But
go ahead and cue up the slides, Jason, and we're going to go through our forecast. So the headlines that we're looking at, the hazards that we're concerned about right now, we do have a small craft advisory for seas, hazardous seas of 8 to 10 feet. That will continue through this afternoon. We're going to see a lull in seas and surf this afternoon and into Saturday, but then the seas will start to build late Saturday into Sunday, and then onward into Monday. High surf advisory remains in effect for north-facing reefs through Monday morning, and there's also a high risk of rip currents for east and north-facing reefs through Monday morning. That's for surf of 9 feet or greater, generating those much stronger currents along the reefs. The fire danger remains at moderate, and for Micronesia, not so bad down there across Micronesia. Surf advisory is now in effect for Pohnpei, Palau, and Yap along the north-facing reefs, and not much change with the drought situation in Kaping and Merengue. Next slide.
Yep.
So for current conditions, we're looking at light winds northeast around 5 miles per hour, mostly clear skies and dry. And you mentioned earlier in the show, it's chilly out there. We bottomed out at about 72, 73 degrees earlier this morning.
Told you.
About 30 minutes ago, we were at 74 degrees. That's going to go up. Yesterday's high forecast was 84 degrees. And we just don't see that too often. But that's because one of those boundaries, as it was weakening, it just passed over our area the last couple of days. And so we're in that slightly cooler, drier air mass. That's why it's a little bit cooler on your skin in the morning. Like if you're going to go swimming in the water, you get out of that water, it's going to be pretty cold for just a few minutes until you dry off. Our records for the day was set in 1973 for a low of 68 and a high of 89 and 72. The normals are 85 and 75, and we're pretty close to that, except yesterday we did bottom out at 71. There was no rain yesterday. Record was set in 1963 for 2 inches and 2.13 inches. So next slide, this is our Facebook post yesterday showing what's the situation is. You see the cold front off to our east. That's moving on to the east and weakening, and those black lines going across Guam and the Mariana Islands, that's just the shear line, the farther extent of this boundary as it weakens. Surf advisories are starting to drop across the region as we go into the weaker sea mass or the weaker seas, but those swell are going to be building in from the north and northeast and bringing us to the east. Next slides. This is the polar orbiting satellite showing the winds at the surface. We're in that lull right here over Guam and the Sinai, but the stronger winds are seen to the northwest, and that's all going to be coming our way this weekend. Now, the next slide, that shows the much larger picture of the region with Guam and Sinai in the red box in the center bottom. We have swell coming in from the northeast with those strong winds behind the last cold front that passed. And then we have another cold frontal system that's coming off of Japan this morning. And behind that front towards South and North Korea, you see all those red wind barbs. Those are the strong, powerful winds coming off of the Asian continent, generating those swell towards us. That swell will arrive, looks like we're Sunday night through Monday. So that's going to maintain probably hazardous surf along North Reefs Monday. And it's not out of the question that we could extend the surf advisories then. So for the week ahead, actually go back to the sea conditions. On the left side, this is the forecast that we had on Monday, and the wave models was showing a huge swell by this weekend, January 30th. That has modified just a little bit. So on the right side, I have the forecast from this morning. The red line indicates Monday's forecast, and the green stops at this morning's current time. So the swell has modified just a little bit. So we're going to be looking at a peak of around 8 to 9 feet early next week. But notice the green line, that has been consistently above the forecast guidance. So that's always our concern, is how well the models are handling the forecast. And so right now the observed data is above the model guidance. So we're going to take into that account with our forecasts in the days to come. So the main hazards, seas and surf, it might be weather is good, okay, but the seas and surf will be hazardous. So the final slide, the week ahead, nice day today. Northeast winds at 10-15 miles per hour. The combined seas of 8 to 10 feet. That will be decreasing through the day and into Saturday. Winds over the waters will be about 10 to 15 knots. The surf will be hazardous, 8 to 10 feet along east and north facing reefs, and that will sustain through the weekend. However, clouds and showers will increase late Saturday into Sunday, and the winds will also increase to 15 to 25 miles per hour, becoming hazardous also for small craft out in the waters. Early next week, it'll dry out again, but we're going to see breezy conditions continue through the early week with combined seas of 10 to 12 feet. And the last slide, Jason, my dad just sent this to me this morning. They had a big epic snowstorm in North Carolina. And so, you know, it's customary that he has to dive into the pool and get a photo. So I'm waiting for him to send me that photo. So whenever he does do that, I'll post it maybe Monday. So Dad, you're obligated.
Yeah, Dad, we want to see it.
Hey, Landon, I also like how you kind of juxtapose the North Carolina snow with the that kind of transparent view of the islands and everything. So that's North Carolina, not the Northern Carolinians.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And actually, those mountains in the view, that is from American Samoa. My counterpart, she sent me some good photos from down there. So
Nice.
beautiful place.
Very
All right.
cool.
Thank you, Landon.
Thanks, Landon.
Always a pleasure.
Have a good weekend. There you go, Landon Aydlett, National Weather Service. He always comes on Monday to do a look at work week weather, but with some of the stuff that they were eyeing for this weekend, we decided to get him on Friday.
Yeah, so there's a high surf advisory. It's in effect for Guam, Rototini, and Saipan. That's until Monday morning, as well as small craft advisory in effect for Guam. And I got to tell you, I walk around Paseo around sunset, and the waves are just
Huge.
Yeah, incredible. So just be careful.
Yep. I was at Moleswa yesterday, totally flat.
Really?
Yeah, so you watch your west side. Also, east side was kind of crazy. I want to hear him say that. There's a high surf advisory in effect for west side. It's 7:14. We're taking a break.